afternoon, everyone, and welcome here this afternoon. My name is Monel Alexis. I'm the Public Relations and Communications Specialist for the Discover Dominica Authority. And this afternoon, it is my pleasure to serve as your host for the official launch of the 5th Annual Progressism Summit and Experience, and that is the 2026 version. Before I go further, permit me to recognize a few persons in our midst. Ms. Odile John Baptist, the Product Promotions Manager of the Discover Dominica Authority, Ms. Lizra Fabian, the founder of the Progressive Mind, Ms. J.L. Joseph, founder of Black Island Girl, and Power Talk speaker, representatives of the Ministry of Tourism and Discover Dominica Authority, other invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, once again, good afternoon. A few months ago, I spoke to a friend who had recently returned to Dominica after working overseas for several years. She said something that stayed with me, and it is this, and I quote, "I love being home, but I wish there were more spaces where Caribbean people could share ideas, build partnerships, and grow together without feeling limited by where they come from," end quote. Her words reminded me that progress is not only about individual effort, but also about connection. It's about creating opportunities to exchange ideas from partnerships and turn shared goals into meaningful outcomes. Progressism 2026, the summit and the experience, embodies that vision. It creates a bridge between people and possibilities. It provides a platform for learning, leadership, and growth across the Caribbean, Africa, and the diaspora. Today's launch celebrates collaboration, creativity, and advancement. It brings together innovators, entrepreneurs, and leaders who continue to redefine development across our region. On behalf of Discover Dominica Authority, I extend a warm welcome to everyone joining us here this afternoon, our partners, guests, media, and of course, to the lady of the hour, the founder, Ms. Lizra Fabian. Welcome to the launch of Progressism 2026 Summit and Experience, where we bridge Caribbean and African excellence without borders. Next, let's talk all things about the event. Presenting on the overview of the event, I introduce to the podium Ms. Lizra Fabian. She has been working tirelessly to create a space that connects minds, industries, and the region. Let's please welcome her to the podium.
Thank you very much, Mona. I would like to also recognize all the key persons who are joining us here live and online via Emonews. Ms. Odile John Baptist, the Product Promotions Manager of Discover Dominica Authority, Ms. Jill Joseph of Black Island Girl and Power Talk speaker, representatives from the Ministry of Tourism and Discover Dominica Authority, our special sponsor who is here today, NBD, the National Bank of Dominica Limited, and other members of the media or the special invited guests. We have some of our past participants who are going to share some words with us, viewers who are tuning in live, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to stand before you this afternoon. I'm seeing some smiles in front, and I hope you can feel the smiles from the heart, that this is an experience that we've been curating for you, an experience that we hope will continue to be of benefit to many Dominicans, but not just Dominicans now, individuals across the Caribbean and across the globe. It's not just an event, and it's not just a gathering. This is a movement. This is a call to action for all who believe in shaping the future and connecting a future that is bold and transformative. So over 5 years ago, during the COVID season, I believe many of us were looking at how can we improve our lives. How many persons were looking at that? Okay, and if you're live on Emonews, you could type in the chat. Feel free to communicate with us via the chat. We'll be able to see it after and continue to engage with you. So one of the things that came to mind is, what do we have? How can we use that? And the progressive mind came to light. In 2020, we launched the Progressive Mind Planner. I should have had it up here so that you could see, but there are individuals we've been here at the live who would have had their very own planner. And thank you very much. It's being seen right here, being shown right here. Yes? So this planner, we brought together persons from across the world virtually because that's how we could have met. We had Shadrach Burton doing even a live with we played a song and he did a live while we were on Zoom. And he was able to showcase that painting and it was sold for $500, something like at the event, it auctioned for $580. So even then we were creating value through that event. But after launching the Progressive Mind Planner, we were looking at, and even at work at the time when I worked at the chamber, Kevin and I always brainstorm on, how can we do something better? How can we improve on what we're doing? And after some time, Progressism was born. Now, a lot of people say, Progressism, what kind of word is that? That's not even a word. I when people say that, I've read comments that people is like, what kind of nonsense is that? Progressism? Well, Progressism is a being or the embodiment of progress. And I believe that everyone who is here today embodies that in one way or another. Those of you who are looking online, I believe and I hope that you're embodying that in different parts of your life. So it's not just progressing in work or in our careers, but also in our personal lives. Day by day, taking some step to ensure that we could be better individuals. So Progressism in 2021, we started it as 2022 and 23, we started it as a conversation. We had different individuals come out and we started at the Intercontinental, I think in that year was Skipinski, but we started it at that time where we formed a spot where people could come together, professionals, entrepreneurs, and anyone who wanted to learn from others, share, and start the way in an amazing way. We dubbed it the ultimate New Year event for professionals, and we started with Dominica. Now, in 2023, it grew even further. 2024, January, it grew even more, and we had the theme, Envisioning the Future, Empowering Change. And at that event, we had Tony Davidson, Tony Edwards present, and it was the first year we were sharing our Power Talk series. We also had Elias Dupy share different aspects, and one of the things that Elias said stood with me, it's still with me. So what he said is that he put his vision board on his phone as a screensaver, so that every day when he opened his phone, he can be reminded of what he is aspiring to achieve, and in different parts of our life. So that's part of what I've done in remembering, well, honoring him, but also encouraging myself based on the lessons that he shared. We also had Shelley provide a different perspective, and Shelley, being a Bouillon artist, was able to share his perspective even as a professional. So we even built on this as well from 2024, and in 2025 we continue to listen to persons who come to Progressism, and we grew even further. So in 2025, what was one of the biggest things that happened in Dominica? What happened? Somebody said it. Theater 4, right? She got gold, and Dominica celebrated its first Olympic gold medal. So our theme for Progressism, well, I made a mistake, I said 2025, but that's 2024. Right? So 2024, so that in 2025, our theme was on going for gold, a mindset of champions. And we believe that even January this year, persons who came to Progressism was able to feel a lot more encouraged and to go for gold in different parts of their life. Jill wore a bright yellowish or mustard jacket, and I saw Jill as gold at that event. And it's amazing to see how far Jill has come this year and the amazing things she's been able to achieve. And just even tapping in and connecting to different individuals, seeing the amazing things that has been happening, it's inspired us to continue to see how can we improve Progressism. So this led us over the past many months to figure out what value can we add to the space in Dominica, and not just Dominica, the Caribbean and the globe by extension. So our theme for 2026 is Bridging Caribbean and the African Brilliance, Progress Without Borders. and hopefully you can see it on the screen here as well, Bridging Caribbean and African Brilliance, Progress Without Borders. And this theme has come to us because it's time that we move beyond our national stage and move regional and global. We've heard our politicians articulate it. We've seen our Prime Minister and the other Prime Ministers across the region meet, and they've indicated that they want to connect with Africa. But the onus is on us as well as individuals in our own countries to take a step to see what can we do to expand our borders. Our borders include our mind, our relationships, our connections, and what we do on a day-by-day basis. So the world is changing fast, and our stories, our talents, our innovations, it deserves a space that match our mission. And some people say Dominica is too small. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
Some people say, oh, you need to leave Dominica and go.
Too small for you.
Dominica too small for you. You're doing too good in a small space. Well, I think we can also leverage our space and stretch beyond our borders by still also contributing from our home country, which is Dominica. So I see Natasha is even spreading her borders, like she's going beyond. She's now even selling African clothes, right? I mean, I'm not taking your words that you're going to say. But 2026 Progressism is a pivot. It's a pivot from national to regional and regional to global. And at Progressism, in January, we are innovating, and every year we're innovating. Innovation doesn't come only as a product, but it's also we can innovate in services. Tony, you're innovating in Shop DM all the time. So for the event, we don't want anyone to say, I come to this event and this is the exact same thing I saw last year. No way. It's always going to be different. So for 2026, we've added two elements: Progressism, the summit, and Progressism, the experience. And we hope that as we go through, you'll be able to see on the screen the different aspects. So we have Progressism, the summit, which is January 11th, and Progressism, the experience, January 12th to 14th. Now, at Progressism, the summit, we have a lineup of leaders, thinkers, innovators, policymakers, storytellers, visionaries. Like, we've curated a list of speakers we believe that are very inspirational from Dominica, across the region, and the globe. Of course, keeping with our theme, Bridging Caribbean and African Brilliance, Progress Without Borders. So for the next Progressism, I'm going to share with you the list of persons who will be supporting, and we have a number of areas that will be continuing, but some elements that we're adding. So we are going to have our power talks and our fireside conversations. For January, we are adding in the fireside conversations as an opportunity to have more dialogue and discuss, right? At Progressism 2025, there were a lot of questions after. We had to sort of curtail our questions, but we want to have more rich discussion and engagement with the audience as well as with our speakers. We'll continue to have our clock-in for progress, and this networking is something that's a signature aspect of Progressism. And for those who come to the event, they get to meet at least 12 people. We want to ensure that everyone connects with 12 different people. And sometimes, when you connect with someone that you knew before, but in a different way, we see them through new lens. We are also having the Innovation Spotlight and Startup Showcases, so we'll be spotlighting two entrepreneurs, one from the Caribbean and Africa. We'll continue for Progress Moves, our competition. I remember persons trying to see who could win and who could win the vouchers, the special gifts, as well as the buffet lunch. That's supposed to be buffet lunch at Intercontinental, the professional headshots, and the different giveaways. So first of all, we'll go to our first speaker, and that speaker is for our spotlight session, looking on bridging the connection between Africa and the Caribbean. And this is Hilary Thomas-Lake. And she's a doctor, she's an Africanist, an international development consultant. She's advised the Prime Minister, the Honorable Mia Motley. She's lived in Africa for over 20 years. She's connected many different individuals across sectors and topics. So Hilary is looking forward to sharing with our attendees on how we can bridge that connection between Africa and the Caribbean. We mentioned two innovative entrepreneurs, and some of you may wonder who that is. Well, for Progressism, these are the two entrepreneurs that we're spotlighting. We're spotlighting John Francois. He is the founder and CEO of Asili Coffee, and this is a company that brings together farmers across Ghana, and they're able to pool their coffee together as a cooperative to innovate in how they present coffee across Ghana. In Ghana, it's more chocolate and not so much coffee, so even going into the coffee industry has been quite unique for them. For Dominica, we have Terry Henry Lovell, and everyone knows Terry?
Yes.
Yes, and if you do on the live, please indicate that you know Terry as well. Terry has won awards in Dominica and across the region for the quality of her products, for her innovation. She's won several grants, and she's one of the exceptional entrepreneurs in Dominica we believe that needs spotlighting and can inspire different individuals. Terry has also been a participant of Progressism before, so it's great that for January she gets to share the platform in sharing her story. We bring to you a fireside panel which is dynamic. And this fireside panel includes Dr. Clementine Ofana. I think many persons know Clem. We see here the Cameroon flag. This is part of her heritage. But she lived in Dominica for some years, and now she is also living in a different location. But she continues to have a business in Dominica. She's innovating in a number of areas, and she's experienced being from Africa, living in the Caribbean, now living somewhere, still doing business, and her experience is quite dynamic that we believe it will be inspiring to those who will tune into Progressism as well as be physically at the event. We also have Alicia Ali, who is the founder and CEO of AHA Innovations. Alicia Ali is based out of St. Lucia. She's a regional, well, I would say global strategist. She's also a Pan-Africanist, and she is able to turn policy and complex information into simple ways that we can understand and make change in our lives and across our countries. So Alicia will be joining us for Progressism, and we look forward to having her here in Dominica. Next, we have Kenneth Oguzi, and he's the CEO of Africa-Canada Trade and Investment Venture, that's active. And Kenneth has worked across Africa and Canada, bridging that gap for trade, and he'll be able to share some insights in the Caribbean and how we'll be able to tap into the space in Africa. He's from Nigeria. He has dual citizenship, so he's Nigerian and Canadian. And though he'll not be joining us in person, we look forward to being able to tap into his insights virtually and connect with him, ask questions, and to be able to interact in such a way. And finally, we have our moderator, Ms. Monel Alexis, and she's the Communications and PR Specialist for Discover Dominica Authority. Monel have an amazing way of connecting people, ideas, and we are honored to have her join us to be able to help bring these stories to the fore. So thank you, Monel, for being here with us today, and also being willing to join us at Progressism as we look at the fireside panel of the future of Caribbean-Africa collaboration. Next, we have our Power Talk series. And with our Power Talk series, we always want to give a space to persons from Dominica who will be able to share inspiring experiences that can motivate us to be better, but looking at it from a different lens. First up, we have CEO of Discover Dominica Authority, Ms. Marva Williams, who will be sharing with us her story. She's broken many barriers, and her story will be inspiring to us. We hope that it will be for everyone who gets to tune in. We also have Kevin Foy, and he's the chairman of the BVI Airport Authority Board from Totola, and he'll be joining us in Dominica for Progressism. He is one of the youngest in the parliament. He is part of the junior parliament, and he's broken many borders in his experience, and we hope to hear even from a male. So we try to make sure we have as much of a balance as possible, and a balance in terms of not just Dominica, but beyond our shores. So we welcome Kevin to join us in Dominica for Progressism. Next, we have JL Joseph, the founder of Black Island Girl. JL came to Progressism this January 2025, and her feedback was quite inspiring. And jail brought her energy and her vibes, and she has such an amazing story to tell. And there are a lot of aspects of jail that we may not be aware of. Jail is involved in media, yes, in content creation, in publicity. She is taught in at different schools, out of Dominica as well as in Dominica. She's recently launched a studio that she's bringing a space that anyone who wants to create content can create content there. So there are many aspects that we look forward to hearing from Jill's experience in how she's been breaking barriers and excelling in the spaces that she's in. And finally, Emonews. Emo is not here with us physically today, but we are excited that Emo has accepted. She's accepted to speak to us on breaking barriers. So Emmeline Anselm, we look forward to hearing from her. She's opened her news studio. She's been sharing information consistently, and not just for Dominica. Like, I spoke to someone this weekend, and this person said, you know how I get to understand what's happening in Dominica? Emonews. So Emo has been providing information across the region. We saw recently she went to Jamaica, and she was able to share some stories that we would not have heard of otherwise. So we look forward to these speakers sharing with us on breaking barriers that can be very inspiring to us in moving beyond January 2026. Your humble servant, I'll be able to continue to share with you the Founders Charge, and for January we'll be looking at building legacy and sustainable impact. So we hope that everyone who comes to Progressism will be able to leave having new lens of how we can continue building our legacy, because we're not just living for today. Are you here just for today? You living day by day?
No.
Or we want something to last longer than our existence?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Do we, like, for those of you tuning in, have you considered, like, what is the story going to be after I've left this earth? Right? So we also want to build impact. We want it to be sustainable. So we encourage everyone who would like to continue to expand their mind, go beyond borders, to join us as we understand even a little bit better how to build legacy and sustainable impact. We have a number of persons who continue to be consistent through the experience of Progressism. And one of these individuals is Kevin Francis. He's the founder of 10 Talent Enablement Network, and he ensures that individuals are able to understand what talent they have to be able to leverage their networks and succeed in life. So Kevin, thank you very much for being here today, but also being consistent through Progressism in hosting and sharing and connecting us across the space. So let's give a round of applause for all our contributors to Progressism 2026. Next, we are sharing the experience, and I will just go through this part briefly. For the experience, we have the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and this time we add in different elements where we'll be connecting business-to-business exchanges. So this is not just an event for Dominica. We hope that those who are tuning in, you book your tickets, you book a boat. For other events, there were persons who were taking fishing boats to get to Dominica. If you have to take a fishing boat, we can connect you with some fishermen in Anthony, and we can help you to come to Dominica and go through, of course, the customs and the right to discover Dominica Authority. No one is going to be. We don't encourage anyone cheating the system or hiding to come to Dominica. We go through the customs system. No backdoor. But if you have to come, we encourage you to book your tickets to come to Dominica, because we are the nature isle of the Caribbean. Right? So on Monday, we'll be having business-to-business exchanges, and we'll be able to visit some of the aspiring, well, not just aspiring, but the innovative entrepreneurs in Dominica. And for those who would come to Progressism, who want to connect with those who are coming into Dominica, we hope to create that space for you to interact. It's not just an event, it's connections. And when we connect, we have no idea the possibilities of it. So even just going to one event, someone could get a contract that could serve them for many years. And I'm sure that several of you would have understood. But do understand this, because you've experienced it in your own life. We also have a number of major projects happening in Dominica, and we also will be getting some insight into them. So those who join us, those who come to Dominica, and those who are in Dominica who also want to be part of this grouping, we look forward to creating that space for you as well. It's not just about business, but it's also about pleasure. So we want to ensure that when persons come to Dominica, they get to experience the wealth and breadth of Dominica. So also having a spa experience in the evening, I think many Dominicans, we enjoy having that evening soak in the hot water from whichever business you choose in Wharton Waven, but we want to ensure that persons get to experience the sulfur springs being in Dominica. On day 3, which is a Tuesday, we look at tourism, culture, and heritage. So we want to ensure that persons have an adventurous and cultural immersion. We'll be able to visit key tourism sites, including Emerald Pool and Spani Falls. Also, Fab Adventures have made it available so that those who are coming in for the event can have an amazing experience in taking an ATV tour in the north of the island. There will also be a taste of Dominica, so it's not just the physical experience, but it's also eating and sampling the food that we have to offer. And on the final day, which is a Wednesday, we'll be looking at legacy, leadership, and investment. So we'll also be having our follow-up B2B visits. We'll also be ensuring there's personal time, so we're not just packing the agenda with everything, but individuals can get some time to connect across Dominica. And we hope to also end with a grand sunset cruise. So for those in Dominica who also want to be a part of this, we encourage you to tap in and connect with us so we can make this possible for you. You may wonder, how do you register? So for those who are in the room, put up your phones, scan the QR code. Those who are looking online, we'll be sharing the link, and we invite you to follow us at The Progressive Minds on Facebook and Instagram. And shortly after this event, we'll have all the details up for you to be able to access. So we see the phones up and you're getting that QR code. It will take you to our website where you can get all the details on our speakers, on how you can connect, where you can stay, discounted prices at the hotels, which I would just have quickly that you could see a brief view. But we also thank our partners at Fortium and Intercontinental for partnering with us in ensuring that for 2026 January, which is a very busy season, it is high season, that there can be spaces for individuals who want to stay at Fortium Hotel in Roseau or Intercontinental Dominica Cabbage Resort and Spa in Portsmouth. We've shared with you about the events, but who are we targeting? We want young professionals across Dominica. There are a number of companies in Dominica as well who have employees who need an experience to empower their minds and not just to go to work on a day-to-day basis and be frustrated with the environment, but to see how can we empower ourselves, how can we innovate and go beyond borders. We invite our government officials, diaspora leaders, persons in academia, persons who are investors and innovators, change makers across the region and the globe. We invite you to come to Dominica. We're also hoping that we can have a virtual element for those who aren't able to, but of course our priority is in-person participation. You may wonder how to book. I shared the link before, but you're able to go on our page in order to access this. Dominica is a safe place, it's peaceful, it's culturally rich, an environment that's pristine and is poised for investment, innovation, and global collaboration. So make Dominica your choice for progressism. We want to acknowledge our sponsors, our partners. So we have the National Bank of Dominica Limited, who is a silver sponsor for Progressism 2026. We also have other partners who are supporting us in this process. We have the Fortium Hotel, and we thank them for their support in even hosting this brunch lunch today, as well as Intercontinental Resort and Spa. We have 10, thank you 10 for your support, and of course Fab Adventures, who's ensuring that we can have tours on the ATVs for progressism. We ensure that progressism, a summit, it's an experience, it's a movement, it's a catalyst, and it's a game changer. We are bridging generations, we are bridging industries, we are bridging continents. And we're shaping a future where the Caribbean and Africa can stand boldly together. It's not just for one set to make these connections, and we can't just sit on our own and expect it to happen. But today we are writing history, not someday, but we are doing it today. The future is calling, and together we'll create progress without borders. So thank you everyone, and let the Progressism 2026 journey begin. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Fabian, for that presentation. And we can see that from national to regional and from regional to global, progressism is progressing.
Yeah.
And we do not want to miss it. Up next, let's go back to 2025. Well, we're still here. But let's recap last year's, or rather this year's presentation of progressism. This is what some of us missed, and what we will be seeing this year.
initiative, and I must say that I enjoyed every part of it.
I did come in a bit nervous, not knowing what to expect, but I had an amazing time.
It was just a great opportunity to reflect, to plan ahead, and to be in a champion mindset. So I'm really grateful to be here.
Thank you to everyone who contributed to Progressism 2025. This year, our theme, Going for Gold, the Mindset of Champions, we saw champions from all walks of life in Dominica. We are thankful to our sponsors for making this possible, our platinum sponsor, the National Bank of Dominica Limited, our silver sponsor, Nature Blends, our venue sponsor, the Intercontinental Dominica Cabrits Resort and Spa, and all our other businesses, professionals who supported the success of the event. We thank everyone for coming a fourth time to Progressism, where we look at building community, building our mindsets, and achieving success in our lives. We wish everyone an excellent year, and we look forward to connecting with you in our different events during the year, and also at Progressism 2026 in January. Thank you.
And thank you very much, Israel, for that inspiring look back. Now, the impact of progressism can be seen through the people and the partnership that it has helped shape. We will now hear from testimonials from two champions. They're here with us today, two professionals whose work and growth reflect the essence of progress and the collaboration. I invite to the microphone right now, Mr. Anthony Edwards. He is the manager of Shop DM.
Hi, afternoon everyone, and afternoon to everyone who's joining us online. So I'm just going to give a little brief overview on my experience being at Progressism and just thoughts about the event. And yeah, So I attended Progressism last in 2024. I was brought on to be a speaker regarding harnessing technology for personal and professional success. It was a really good experience to speak there, but it's definitely also to be there. I was happy to share the knowledge, but what I really took from there was actually to be part of the event. I don't like talking about coming back to Dominica because I've been back in Dominica for 5 years now. So, fully set back. But one thing I miss from London is just spaces where you feel like things are possible. Dominica's good at a lot of things, but there's a lot of spaces, there's a lot of times you'll be in Dominica and you'll be in a space where you might think that things are less possible. You might, you're more inclined to think that, that idea is not possible, because of how people respond when you tell them about that idea, or because you might not have have a role model that you can just look at and be like, think of Americans and how they idolize, Steve Jobs, right? Like, Steve Jobs' name comes up so much, even though he's passed quite a while back, but that's because he represents an idea, we can be that, we can build Apple, we can innovate on that level and dominate industries, and then what that does is it allows all these upcoming entrepreneurs to think, oh, I can be like Steve Jobs. So one thing I really loved about progressism is just the energy there and the feeling that you're surrounded by all these people who are not thinking about what's stopping the idea from working out, but rather how the idea is going to work out. They're not even really questioning whether it is possible. Obviously, there's a practicality, but just being in a room filled with people like that changes your mindset on whatever your goal is. So I really appreciated that. I'd say that was one of the biggest takeaways for me being at Progressism in 2024. And just to drive it in, the speakers there were amazing. Like there was Shelley there, there was Elias Dupy there, and he did a great talk. Lakia Joseph, Oren, I remember Oren Jolly from Jolly's, and I remember he said something like we asked him how he weathers the ups and downs that are pretty key to doing business in Dominica, and he was like, well, we never have a bad year at Jolly's. We just always something might be wrong, but we just change our plan based on that. I'm paraphrasing, but I remember just being like, wow, okay, that's a big statement, I've been here through a lot of things, but that should maybe even illustrate what I'm saying, it's like it was a room full of people who were thinking that things are possible in Dominica, not in the States, right? In Dominica, and we can make whatever we want possible right here in Dominica, and I found that invaluable. I'd say anyone who's listening and you're trying to build, even just for that energy, it's worth coming. The other big advantage I can think of being at Progressism was really just practical. Networking. It's a networking event, right? But just to give some practical examples, well, Shopian was already working with a few of the businesses in the room before we went in there, but that was the first place I met Shelly Alfred. And we didn't keep in touch or anything, but this year when Shopian so this year Shopian has expanded into events, so we do ticketing, a little plug right there. We do ticketing for Progressism as well. But it was so much easier to reach out to Signal Band because we made that connection randomly a year and a half previous, And that's how networking works. It's not always, it's often not directed like, oh, I want to talk to Kevin. Kevin is here, then get Kevin's number. It's like, I'm opening myself to the opportunities. I'm surrounding myself with people who are, in the general type of person I hope to work with in the future or something, and then just let time pass and allow yourself to capitalize on those opportunities. So I'll stop there. I don't want to take it too long, but I love the idea behind Progressism. I want to see where it's going. I wasn't able to last year, but pretty sure I'll get it. lovely day.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Edwards, for that presentation. Your recap was rather inspiring. And as Mr. Jolly said, we never have bad days. So today is a great day.
Yes.
And tomorrow is going to be awesome.
Yes.
And the other day is going to be remarkable.
Yes.
Who has bad days? Not us. Up next, let's hear from another person who have had the experience at Progressism. I invite to the podium Mrs. Natasha Labat.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. I'm so happy to have been chosen to just share a little bit on the ism of progress. And I think it was the very first year that Israel came out with her planners that I bought. I think about 30 of those planners and gave planners to all of my team members and used those planners in my training sessions. And when I think back to what, just a simple planner did for me as an entrepreneur, I mean, life goals, health goals, business goals, goals in terms of being a better daughter, a better sister, all of those things went into the planner. Lisa created something that was very practical and very useful for me as a female entrepreneur, trying to live my best life, living in the island sun, still a mom, still a wife, still a daughter, and all the responsibilities of my church, my community. And I refer to that as the ism of progress because, as island entrepreneurs, as island people, we have so many dreams that go beyond the borders of our parishes, our villages, our community. And what I particularly liked about Progressism 2025, trying to make sure I don't move ahead so quickly, is the concept of going for gold. I mean, I literally stole that going for gold, living life as if it's golden. And Fiona said something that really resonated with me, that when I came back from Progressism, I printed it out and I said, on days that it matters the most, me, Natasha Labat, I am going to show up and I'm going to be dangerous.
Yes.
And I mean, as entrepreneurs, we don't often, and I know many of you can relate to this, as executives, as busy professionals, we don't often have a lot of opportunities to, anyways, for me anyways, I don't get a lot of opportunities to come out. Like I said to my husband, in 2025, I really want to go. I want to go to this fest, I want to go to that fest, I want to go to Ready on the Boardwalk, I was like, okay, baby, you said that in 2024, and 2023, and 2028. The point I'm making is I don't have a lot of opportunities to often go out because of the challenges and the sacrifices that you genuinely have to make. But what Progressism does is it curates and creates a space where you can connect as an entrepreneur, as a professional, as an executive, but at the same time you can have fun. I mean, I came out of myself as a child, I was genuinely trying to win a prize. I didn't win a prize, but it allowed me to connect with people in a way that I perhaps would not have been able to do. The other thing I really liked about it, I met some of my business colleagues and my business officer was there from the bank that I work with. I have had HR managers that, it was like Edward said, it's almost like an energy that connects, like we're gonna work together, and that just connects in that room, and people have the opportunity to dialogue and have conversation. So if you are looking for something to sort of pivot your 2026, because as an entrepreneur, as a professional, as someone aspiring to do a lot more in your small space, because hey, there are a lot of big fishes in our small pond and a lot of possibilities, I would recommend Progressism for the conversation, for the networking, for the good food, for the ambience, but also for all of the possibilities that oftentimes are unspoken. You know, one of the things that I felt was really well curated with Progressism 2025 was conversations on what success behind the scenes look like. We didn't only hear the stories of success, there were raw conversations about what it looks like when you have to pivot, when you've done everything, you know, and the debits and the credits, they just don't make sense, and you have to basically close up shop and move on. That's something that a lot of times we do not like to speak about as entrepreneurs. And that was a safe space to be able to talk and explore those topics. What happens when emotionally or mentally you kind of hit that space where I don't want to tell the people I love that it's not working out for the it's like the other day my daughter called me and she said, "Mommy, how are you doing? How's business? I said, business is going well." She said, "How is this?" I said, "It's doing that. You know, are you okay with my school fees?" I was like, "Yes." And she's like, "Oh, because I need an iPad." And I thought, you know, sometimes we really want to protect the persons that we care about and love, and oftentimes that is at our expense. Progressism is an opportunity to come together and share ideas, but also it's a nice motivation to bring out that raw and to help you start to think about how are you going to show up dangerous on the days that it matters the most to you. So if you have never been to Progressism, this is your sign. See, Emonews is here. This is your sign to click the link. I'm hoping there's a link. Yes, to sign up and register for Progressism 2026. Okay, so thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Natasha. We appreciate the passion behind that presentation. And of course, you're living your life like it's golden. And we can tell by the ends of your hair that you're doing exactly that. Up next, I introduce someone who embodies empowerment and who's passionate about storytelling, about things happening in Dominica and further afield. At this year's next year's Progressism, she'll be a power talk speaker. She's not going to do a presentation right now, but ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the podium Miss J.L. Joseph.
Boy, how do I come in here and talk after Natasha? Natasha, wonderful, my sister. Good evening or good afternoon, good morning, it's evening somewhere, and it's morning somewhere in some part of the world. Thank you for the invitation to be here this afternoon. I want to do my little salutations. So Ms. Oteil John Baptist, the Product Promotions Manager of Discover Dominica Authority, and Ms. Lizra Fabian, the founder of Progressive Mind, to all of the representatives from the Ministry of Tourism, as well as from Discover Dominica Authority, the National Bank of Dominica, other invited guests, members of the media, Emonews, viewers who are viewing live, make sure you interact. We hope that you can interact. Thank you very much and welcome. I've been asked to do the power talk, and Lizard kind of threw me on the deep end because she figured I can speak the spur of the moment. so I'm here to do this after having like a really packed day. I did some interviews at the National Bank this morning, so look out for our Dominica RE Christmas edition is coming. And I was like, you know what, am I gonna have enough energy to do this afternoon? I was worried. How do you do a power talk with a phone? You need to have energy, right? But I feel good, and I'm happy to be here as someone who participated in the audience for the 2025 Progressism event. I mean, I actually came to doing this event almost by accident, because I would not normally, I'm very much on social media and people know me, they know my face, but I feel I am very introvert, the extrovert. I don't know if that makes sense. So I'm always out there gritting my teeth with people and everything, but I prefer to be by myself. I prefer to be in the confines of my home. I prefer to not have to go outside. I prefer to not have to put on makeup. I prefer to be in my pajamas all day. That I love doing that. But I'm also on social media, so I have to find a balance between the two. You know, how I do this and how do I keep people engaged and come up with all of these brilliant ideas. So getting to the event, I was like, boy, Lizra, I really want to come, but I don't know. You know, and I was like, you know what, Lizra? I invited Lizra to my show so she would leave me alone. I wouldn't have to go. So I was like,
Story time.
I was like, come on my show, you know, we'll talk about it, we'll promote it and whatnot. And you know, you in my back of my mind, I was like, if you think I come in, and I just felt led to go after speaking with her, after she shared about the event. And many people come to me and they talk to me because everybody has bright ideas and they want to use my platform to promote, for exposure, whatever it is. But not everybody moves me in the way that Lizra moved me. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna come. And I brought someone with me. And I was happy that I brought someone with me. I started the year in 2025 very unsure about a lot of things. My personal life, my professional life, I just made a decision to quit. Well, I was on the cusp of making the decision of quitting my job as a lecturer at the University of Guelph. And I'm like, no, I'm coming home. You know, I'm coming back to Dominica. I mean, I've always been here, you know, but in and out. And I'm like, I'm gonna come home. And when I decided that I'm gonna do this, I was like, boy, the money I get in to come home to Dominica and do. You know, like you think to yourself, like, is this a good decision? I know, Anthony, we've spoken about this, you know, as well. Like, is this a good decision that we're making, you know, living our best life, so to speak, because the money is great, and coming home to Dominica or being here permanently. One of the things that I always wanted to do was to raise my kids in Dominica. The foundation, the structure, the environment, the community, it takes a village, everything is right here. And I did not want my kids being raised in North America. I did not want them to feel, as boys growing up, feeling like they were little black boys and their racism that comes with it. I wanted them to see leaders who are just the same complexion as them and knowing that they can aspire to be just like them or even bigger. These are the things that I wanted. So it wasn't a difficult decision wanting to be here. It was a difficult decision wanting to know, how am I going to do business here? How am I going to continue this? And at Progressism, let me tell you, I mean, I got to meet with, I was wearing gold, because that was the thing, you know, I always like, always show up. And I just felt, you know, like I was connecting with all of these people, hearing their stories. And I was in the back of my mind, I was thinking, but why did you never ask me that? You know, I was asking just in the back of my mind, eh? How come she never asked me to do this? I've known Lizra, believe it or not, all our lives. We've known each other, our parents, our moms have been nurses together, and we grew up around each other. So we know each other. Sometimes we slept in the hospital together. You know, we had those as children. So when she asked me, I was like, sure, why not? You know, to be here today, or to even be a speaker. And again, I'm on social media, and a lot of people think they know my life. They think they know everything about me. Like today, Soli was like, oh, you were my esthetician, you remember that? You know, yeah, I was a little skin therapist. I'm a skin therapist. What's a skin therapist? Always a skin therapist, right? I've taught, you know, I've worked on a cruise ship. I've done radio. I've done marketing. I've done TV. I've done it all. At least I've tried. I tried, right? And sometimes it doesn't always work out. It doesn't always work out. And I was blessed with probably the most amazing parents who raised me here in Dominica, who could say to me, or who taught me how to say, it's time to move on, you know, and it's time to let go. So now I'm actually going to start my speech, the speech that I read. All of this was just the prelude to the speech, right? So my parents really were the ones, the force behind me and who I am today, and being able to be so brave and so bold, and to do things that people would not normally want to do. Like I just mentioned, you know, I just started my content, Lizra just mentioned that. And it's out of, I saw the need for it, you know. I saw a lot of times I wanted places to interview people, and I didn't have a space. Like I watching, inside of their office, and I was like, boy, that office looking real drabby. Why not make that look like something, you know? Or you trying to move things around, and everybody wants to go to the gardens and film, or go up on the Mont Bruce. Like these were like the places, and the elements don't always make it the best space to do it because there's noise and all of these things. So I really wanted that space, and I mean, if you want to know about why, you need to go follow my page so you can find out a little bit more about that. So we're not going to get into that. Or you need to be at Progressism 2026 because I will talk a little bit about my journey. So it's really a joy to speak about progressism today. That sweet belief that no matter how things look, we will find a way. Right? Yeah. Because let's be honest, we come from a place where people turn a coconut, a piece of string, and vibes into a whole business. Right? We do that. If progress was, or it had a birthplace, it would probably be Dominica. Right? Growing up, we had an old fan at home. On Monday to Saturday, the fan would blow heat. Kid you not. It was blowing heat. But on Sundays, that fan would suddenly decide to behave like it was powered by the Holy Spirit. The thing did not work. We would try everything. We would shake it, we would flip it, we would talk to it, we would take the propellers and would, try and move it around. I don't know if you guys ever do that. You move the fan to try to make it start when the fan not working. Right? But nothing worked. And we kept on using it. Why? Because Dominicans know how to make things last longer than the warranty and the manufacturer's expectations. That's what we do as Dominicans. And that exactly is what progressism is. It's finding creativity in chaos, making things work even when they really shouldn't. Innovation didn't start with technology. It actually started with a sentence. Let me see how this could work. That's how it started, right? From turning barrels into grills, to turning old car parks into fishing boats. Yes, we do it in Dominica. And our island is built on curiosity. That is the mindset of progress. Last year, I decided to progress my health. And I was on a weight loss journey. Many of you probably saw it. I bought brand new sneakers. I was like, girls, gonna go lose weight, right? My playlist was ready because I'm like, you have to have the right playlist for that. And of course, I had more confidence and stamina. I recall my trainer, Kirby, asking me to do push-ups. Boy, I tell you, I was on my knees doing the push-ups and I could barely do 3, right? On my knees. But I kept going. Today I'm doing 15 regular push-ups like nothing. And I'm just wondering to myself, boy, this is like something that I felt I needed a whole prayer circle for me to do. And now I'm doing it. I kept going. And that is progress. It's not smooth, it's not perfect, but forward. So, we don't wait to become experts. We have to start. We have to start where we are. We have to start with who we are. We have to start with what we are. And somehow we will build the magic. That's how it happens. How many of you know a young man in your community who started selling coconut water with 1 cutlass, 1 cooler, on the side of the road? And then you probably see the cooler turn into a big drum. All of a sudden you're on a van. Next thing he has his own labels in. I'm sure we know some of these people. He mastered his craft, he expanded his stand into a business. Progressism turns hustle into legacy. From our music, to our food, to our culture, we are built on evolution. We remix, we reinvent, we reshape, we reimagine. Progress isn't foreign to us, it's actually in our DNA. So today I challenge you to show up by pressing that button or scanning that QR code. You need to show up try the idea of the progressive mind, progressism. Try it, because I did. And I enjoyed it, and I will not miss, as long as I'm in Dominica, I will never miss another progressism. Start today. Take this small step. It will change your year. It will change your mindset. It will change how you feel. It will change your business. It will change your professional life. Because the future, it doesn't wait. And neither do we. So, forever, after never, my father loved to say that. And I hope to see you guys at Progressism 2026. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Joseph, for that powerful talk. You mentioned earlier that no matter how things may look, we always find a way. Guess who found a way to get you on board this year? Well, next year. She did. You were not sure, and then she found a way. So that is progress. Progressism. Now let's turn to Discover Dominica Authority, one of the partners of this initiative. I invite to the podium to present at this moment Ms. Odile John Baptist. Odile is the Product Promotions Manager at Discover Dominica Authority. She's representing the CEO, Ms. Mama Williams, who is unable to make it today.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Let me acknowledge the presence of Ms. Lisa Fabian, the founder of the Progressive Mind, Ms. J.L. Joseph, founder of Black Island Girl and Power Talk speaker, representatives from the Ministry of Tourism and Discover Dominica Authority, other invited guests, members of the media, viewers tuned in live on Emonews, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is a great pleasure to be here today at the official launch of the Progressism 2026 Summit and Experience. Today, we are not merely marking the beginning of an event, we are celebrating an idea that grows stronger every year. The idea that progress happens when people come together to share knowledge, creativity, and purpose. On behalf of the Board of Directors and the management and staff of Discover Dominica Authority, I wish to congratulate Ms. Fabian, the visionary behind this movement. Ms. Fabian, your dedication to regional collaboration and your commitment to showcasing excellence have created something truly meaningful. We are proud to partner with you to bring the 5th edition of Progressism 2026 to Dominica. This partnership reflects who we are as a destination. Dominica is a place to connect, reflect, and to be inspired. This summit captures that spirit perfectly. It represents new ideas, new partnership, and new energy that drive both tourism and transformation. Hosting this event at the Intercontinental Dominica and the Fortune Hotel reflects how far we have come as a destination, not only in developing world-class facilities, but in creating spaces that bring people together to exchange ideas and imagine a better future. To our local businessmen and women, creatives and professionals, I encourage you to participate fully. Attend the summit, build connections, and show the world the innovation and brilliance that thrive here in Dominica. To our regional and international guests, I invite you to explore our islands, experience our hiking trails, rivers, and hot springs, and connect with the people whose warmth defines Dominica. Every corner of this island tells a story of resilience, creativity, and natural beauty, the very essence of progress. Congratulations once again to Lizra and team. Discover Dominica is honored to partner with you as we showcase Dominica as the perfect stage of collaboration, growth, and innovation. We look forward to welcoming delegates from across the region from January 11th to 14th to experience Progressism 2026 and to discover the spirit of Dominica. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. John Baptist, for that presentation. Up next, it's time to clock it in. Earlier, some people were doing insider trading, which I heard is illegal, but it's time to have fun and network and share some moments together. To lead in that, I invite Ms. Fabian to the podium.
As I mentioned, one of our signature events is Clocking for Progress. We're trying to make sure we give a heads up for those of you who are tuning in live. It's a networking activity where everyone in the room gets to network with everyone else. So, for those of you who are not here, you'll get an insight into what to expect at Progressism for this activity. But for everyone else, we are about to start Clocking for Progress. Just given the guidelines again, we have 12 hours. Everyone is going to find someone else to fill in that space for each o'clock. We're going to start at 1 o'clock to 12 o'clock. So if Monel and I meet, well, we have 4 o'clock for each other. I have Monel for 4 o'clock and she has me for 4 o'clock. So we keep it consistent for the same time. We'll have 60 seconds to fill our clock with as many as possible. So we're going to start these 60 seconds. And after the 60 seconds, we'll get a chance to meet, we'll see as many as we can. And we know that time, we can't meet everyone, but we'll see as many as we can. We may, skip some hours and move to our next hour, but please fill as many as possible. So now, the time has started. You're now open for filling your clock. 60 seconds on the clock.
I know you. So look.
Okay.
What time we need to?
2 o'clock? 2.
So,
And now we have So now, in being honest for 60 seconds, our time is up. Time up, everyone. Papers up. Papers up. Papers up. Tasha, papers up. Papers up. Time is up. I didn't get to fill my clock, but time is up. Yeah. So, everyone, let's settle. Yes, I picked on you big time. So, how many hours did you get filled?
6 hours. 6 hours.
Okay. So that means we have, wow, 8, 7, okay, we got some 9? 7. Someone said 9.
We are not surprised.
Inside trading.
We're going to continue. We're going to move to the networking aspect of it now. For this part, you will have 1 minute to connect within that timing, and both persons have to speak and share with each other. So share something insightful. We're not going to restrict you into what you're going to discuss at this time, right?
At one time?
Within that 1 minute, both of you have to introduce yourself.
For
30 seconds for one, 30
sir.
for the other. But within that 1 minute, one person don't hog that.
And you're going down the list.
We're going to call the hour.
Oh
We're
my
going to call
God.
the hour.
Some people are going to be sitting on with the hour.
Just in case, right? Because not everyone have it for the order. So we are now going to move 1 o'clock and we have 1 minute. Meet with who you have for 1 minute.
So, okay, sure. I mean, well, you know, me and Tony and like they feel like maybe I should be, you know, like one to community. So you can go
Alright, we now finish our first hour. Hopefully both persons got it. It's now 2 o'clock. We're moving on to 2 o'clock. Yeah, 60 seconds for 2 o'clock. Let's go. Time is up. We gave a lot of time for this hour. We're now moving to 3 o'clock. We invite you to come to 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Next hour, we're now moving to 5 o'clock. Okay? o'clock. 4 o'clock. Great. We now go to 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. We now change and we move to 5 o'clock.
Okay, tell me about yourself. What I didn't already know, I follow you. Okay, my name is Jane Fitzgerald. I was sick because one of the kids, my mom did. I was born in the States, but I didn't live in living since I'm from. So I graduated high school. I'm currently graduating class, but I want to go to Asia. I want to go to great technology. But I also want to have a little something in the friendships. I try my best, but because I'm very confident, so I try my best. I try my best, but you know, it's not really. I don't really get off there much. I post like a video every 2 months, and it doesn't go off anywhere. So that's the thing. And my friend and I, like now, I was saying, I know, I watch all of them. And my friends, like, we want to do a podcast, and that thing that you said about having a space.
Now 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. Let's move to 6 o'clock. Going to move to 6 o'clock.
So nice talking to you.
So these are the participants doing an activity called Clock In for Progress. It's really a networking activity, very creative. I'll show you the handout that they are using. And of course, this is used at the actual summit. So just giving you a taste of one activity that's done. And this is the networking activity. Quite creative.
So now it's 7 o'clock. I think we'll end at 7. So whoever you have at 7 o'clock, we will end. Some persons didn't have someone, but we'll end at 7. So we're going to end at 7, and this is our final hour. Well, I think we've gone through, we'll not go to 12 o'clock, but this is just the insights and hopefully you get some new connections. We now want to encourage everyone to return. Encourage everyone to return. And I can imagine there were great insights. So I'll just probably pick on a few persons. I'll pick on Shauna to share with us one insight that she gave from the Clocking for Progress. Like someone, just very short, someone you met and what insights that you gave?
Well, I met with Ms. Rafabia, and in discussion with her, I really saw in terms of her resilience and her progressing throughout 2025 and also pivoting in terms of where she is in her career, professional, personal, and just as to what Natasha would have said earlier, how do we let this go and move on? So I really saw that in the insight with her, that she embodied that progressism throughout 2025. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shauna. I didn't think that But anyway, I'm going to ask you to share very shortly one person you met and an insight that you gained from Connected.
Yeah. So I would like to start with Radhika, right? It was so fun from the beginning, before we started, because she had a clear plan how to conduct the thing. So she's a master in it. And then I learned when we met afterwards, hey, she wants to have fun, she wants to have adventure, and I invited her to Switzerland. So we'll see us again, I'm sure.
Someone just got an invitation to
That's why you should go to Progressism.
We want someone who did not speak yet. So who would like the mic? We put you on the spot. Just one more person.
Right in front of you.
Right in front of you.
Without speaking about me. We met, but yes.
Okay, so I've met a lot of people. I repeat the same thing for like 7 people so far. It was tiring. But one person I would like to comment on is, I'm not sure the name, but Lancashire. I learned about her educational stuff and what she does for a living. What really caught my attention is the education system where she goes around teaching the young people to read and helping them with their literacy. That really caught my attention because I love reading, I love writing. These are my stuff. So it really caught my attention, and hopefully that it comes to success in the future.
I can see smiles on your faces. Those of you online, we're sorry that you missed this. It was really engaging and we learned a lot from each other. In the essence of time, I will go into my experience and speaking with you guys, but I just want to say thank you again to everyone for coming out. So we have our closing remarks from Mona. I want to say thank you to the Discover Dominica Authority and the entire team from DDA for supporting in ensuring that we could have this lunch this afternoon. All our partners, all our speakers, our invited guests, those who are tuning in online, we thank everyone. I hope I didn't miss anyone, but our sponsors as well. We thank everyone. Emonews, thank you for carrying life as well. And we look forward to seeing you all at Progressism 2026. Now, we welcome Mona.
Ladies, after that presentation, there's nothing much I need to say other than thank you on behalf of Discover Dominica Authority, the board and directors for partnering with us, and thank each and every one of you for making it your business to be here this afternoon with us. It's a beautiful event and we look forward to 2026. Remember, if you want more information, take that number 276-8045. That's 276-8045. Or email the Progressive Mind Inc. @gmail.com. Ensure you click that button, scan, and register. after this session, I'm certain that each and every one of us here are going to make it our duty to be part of next year's event. Once again, thank you very much. Before we leave, yes,
What are the dates for next?
next year it's on January 11th to the 14th. The 11th is the summit at Intercontinental Cabrits Resort and Spa, and from the 12th to the 14th we are right here at the Fortune Hotel for the experience. So you want the summit and you want the experience. Come, let's learn, let's grow, and let's rediscover our purpose here in Dominica. As someone reminded me, we need to stay in Dominica so we can help grow this destination. If each of us leave, if all these beautiful minds are in the nature island, then what's going to happen to us, right?
Yeah.
So we have to
The man will
stay.
not progress.
There we go. The mind on the island will not progress. So
Number
let's
again?
make it our duty. The number again, 276-8045. Email theprogressivemindinc@gmail.com. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been my pleasure serving as your master of ceremony. Before we leave, we'd like to take some photos, and then there are snacks at the back for us to indulge in. Once again, thank you. And let's keep being progressive, because every day is a
Good day.
good day.
Thank you for joining, and see you at the Progressive Mind or Progressism 2026. With this, we say goodbye, and we encourage you to share the live and share the information. Thank you for joining. Goodbye, everyone.